Coming up on episode 28 of Convergence, we meet my US doppelganger, and Brendan has plans for me.
I've got a little bit of follow-up.
Ooh, I love follow-up.
So, first piece of FU is about arbitration.
Oh!
No news.
Fuck!
It's been delayed till next week. I was supposed to find out mid this week, and it'll be quote unquote early next week. So,
for God's sake, I hate that.
I know. So,
I hate that so much. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, sorry to pass that on to you as well, but that's where I am right now.
That's a big boatload of balls.
And speaking of genetics and weirdness and evolution.
Speaking of segues.
Second piece of follow-up. I was thinking about our musings about monkeys eating psychedelics and how
said no one ever.
How like that's you mentioned like that's not how genetics works, and I'm like yeah.
Oh, was it about like psychedelics being passed on or something?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think that the psychedelics necessarily passed on through the digestive system and into the baby. No, definitely no. But like epigenetics wise, what we do to our bodies affects the next generation and the generation after that. Like what we eat affects, or even what we don't eat. Like the people that went through the potato famines and stuff, their children and grandchildren had massive effects, and the stress levels that we have affect our offspring and stuff. And I truly believe that if it was a scenario where primates were eating psychedelics, that to me it makes complete sense epigenetically that could pass on to their offspring after they've had that. In terms of like changing,
well, it's monkey see, monkey do, isn't it? For sure. Genuinely, and like, yeah, we inherit the hang-ups and the stresses and the various things from our parents, and our idea of food gets passed on. Like your messed up idea of food gets then reinterpreted by your kid as a differently messed up idea of food. Whether it's like you should always have enough, which is fine, or you should always watch what you eat, or you should never have any hang-ups. Like, if you've got a thing around food, right, you are going to pass on a thing around food to your family, for sure. And both me and my brothers have things around food that probably came from my parents, both growing up poor, and there being questions about what was on the table and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have things about food too. And speaking of that, that brings me to another bullet point I have for today. I am currently on day 5 of a fast again. I'm really trying to just experiment with this a lot and see what's going on with my body and everything. I'm probably going to end it today. I was planning on, so Margaret is leaving for a trip to North Carolina for 5 days. And I was planning on just kind of participating in a hunger strike, waiting for her to come back. I'm not going to eat until you're back here with me. No, but I was planning on just well, she's not here. I might as well just not eat. Because that's...
Oh. You're like the dog at the end of Futurama who's just waiting for his owner who's never to return.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to end it today because I'm...
you're fast.
Yeah, in my fast. Yeah.
Yes.
Because man, those chimichangas are really calling to me. Man, and I'm feeling a bit tired, and also I have a lot of work to do. And when you're on a fast, it's good to be really restful. It's the rejuvenation time, It's like, yeah, it's also good to do a workout, but then with a lot of rest afterwards, So, and I can't really do that. I'm going to be back at work. I've got a whole bunch of tiling still left to do, and it's just not restful. And I have 2 fasting experiments coming up. One, I have the aforementioned camping vision quest. That'll be about 9 days of camping. I might start my fast a little bit before that. And so it might be a 10 or 11 day fast in total. And so that's going to be something really fascinating. And I'm going to learn a lot from that. And then also, I'm going to be doing a new project in a town that's about an hour and a half away from my place. And so and that's going to last about 2 months. And so I'm going to be sleeping there at their house during the week and just coming back to my place during the weekends. And so I haven't fully built out this plan yet, and I probably won't do it every week, but maybe once or twice a month. I'm just planning on not eating while I'm there. I'm just like, I don't need to prepare food and stuff. I'll just work on the house and do my self-care routines and stuff and not focus on food so much. And so, yeah, still working that one out, but I have some fasting experiments coming up, so I don't need to be doing a fast right now is what I'm getting at. But anyways, and generally, my thing about food, at least currently, it's not just fasting, but like the thought process about how, we live in a food abundance culture right now. It's so cheap. It's artificially cheap. It's artificially produced. And it's
artificially food.
It's artificially food. And it's so far from our ancestors living in food scarcity. We grew up for thousands, tens of thousands of years in food scarcity. We're hunting for food. Our primary objective is to find food. And now we live with food everywhere. Our pantries are full. Our fridges are full. Our supermarkets are full. Our gas stations are full of what they call food. They call them food marts. And there's not single piece of food in there, but they're edible substances. And everywhere we look, there's food. Billboards, like everything. And so we don't have to hunt anymore, but our brains are still wired for that hunt. And so we see something shiny and good, and we think, oh, I need to have that now because it's hardwired in our brain.
Yeah, because who knows when I'll get the next opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really trying an experiment to counteract that. I don't think I'm going to uningrain ancestral food scarcity from myself, but trying to at least break the habit a little bit of always just going to food for comfort and always seeing food and thinking, oh, I should have that right now because it's here in front of me and I should have it.
I applaud that. I mean, I'm starting my journey on Monday to increased health, to more robust health.
What's that plan look like? Do you have any overview that you can provide?
It's essentially starting off with a combination of very light exercise, much reduced carbs, sticking with the proteins and the healthy fats, and probably give that 2 weeks. Let the vast majority of the water weight go down, and then I will probably start Couch to 5K, which is less. Although there will be an aspect of having some of the calories that I can then use for food. But also it's getting back into the mindset of moving more, because when I'm in that mindset, it all generally becomes a little bit easier because you're in that right mindset of I'm looking after myself and taking care of myself. Like, I know when I'm on my shit, I'm absolutely on my shit. And so I think, with the fact that hopefully everything flat-wise, all the awkward bits get done tomorrow. So renovations that are taking place at the moment, hopefully that all gets the majority of stuff gets done tomorrow. There's flooring being laid tomorrow in both the bedroom and the studio. My bedroom now has a beautiful wall sort of mural of sunlight glinting through trees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So where that red wall was. Yeah, I will when everything's up. I absolutely will. So that red wall that you would have slept
my head against. Yeah,
you'll put your head against. Yeah. That is now covered in forest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And who did that?
That's my it's paper. It's paper you buy.
Sure.
My parents gave me a great bit of help yesterday. Basically, they thought it was going to take them 2 days, but they've taken up all the carpet and all the sort of underlay and all the various other things underneath, exposed the bare concrete of the floors, so that tomorrow currently I have an empty studio and a completely chaotic death trap of a bedroom, which has got half of my flat. The other half of my flat is in the living room from which I'm speaking to you now. And I've got my mattress on the floor. And one thing I discovered that I would not advise is those sort of fancy, I've got one of those internet mattresses. They're great, but you've absolutely got to use a mattress cover, because if you don't, there's so much friction. It's weird, like trying to move on this bare mattress without the mattress cover. It's all friction. It's such a strange sensation. So that's on the floor at the moment, but hopefully that gets sorted. And so with all of that kind of out of my head, I've got the bike. I've got all of those things are now kind of there. I've got some things to discuss that we, that might be pertinent to us later in the year. But that's fun planning things. But,
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Work is kind of in a nice situation. I've got money in the bank. So I'm at that point now where I can dedicate the mental space to my body. So that begins on Monday.
Oh, I'm really happy for you. That's really cool. I'm excited to follow along and see what's working.
So and then I've got some flights to buy.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. I am so excited. Like, I was not expecting this at all. I thought it was a pipe dream. I thought it was, just not. But now I really have to send you a birthday party invitation.
Yeah, no, you actually have to.
No, I have to. Do you have any? So you're coming to join me in December for my birthday party, which God, I'm so excited. I've been planning this thing, and I'm so excited for how this is turning out. Been building the set lists with Cameron on what he's going to be playing for us, and building ideas about. I've been checking out venues of where we could have this be, or also I might just have it at my house for a lower cost.
It's going to be very cold though, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's got to be inside.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, you're coming to Portland. I wouldn't say in its at the worst time, but it's like it's the least best time.
Yeah.
So hopefully at some point in the future, many years down the road, you can come again and at a more like spring or summer time when or fall. Fall's really great in Portland. Actually, every season has its benefits. But yeah, as I mentioned a couple episodes ago when we were talking about you traveling, I told you I was making a list of things that I wanted to show you in Portland. That has skyrocketed since you mentioned that you're going to be coming. I think maybe partially due to me being on the fast and like my brain's firing on ketones, and it's just like, oh, now I can think of all these things I want to take Mark to, and now it's like 2 minutes. There's way more than you're going to have time. I don't know exactly when you how long you'll be staying.
I want to try for a couple of weeks.
Awesome, because I've got so many things to show you, even in winter. You'll have to come back for the outside stuff, but I've got a lot of inside stuff to show you. And a couple of outside stuff that I think, as long as we're bundled up, it won't be too bad.
Yeah.
You're familiar with cold weather.
Yeah. We have a relationship.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long ass journey.
Yeah.
Because because I'm flying to looking at it. I'll probably be flying to Amsterdam, where I've got a very long wait. I'm going to have to probably find, depending on the time, a hotel. I think it's good. Yeah, it will be. It'll be a hotel stay in Amsterdam, and then from Amsterdam on to Portland.
Amazing.
So that will be Boxing Day. So that's the day after Christmas, I think, because I don't want to arrive on the day of the day. Are you having the party on the day of the day, or is it going to be
on
day?
The 28th?
Yeah. So, I'll want to make sure that, there's time to do a few things beforehand. So, I'll probably be in on the 27th. I don't know, these are things that the listener needs to hear, but, it's exciting.
That's so exciting. I think I mentioned this before, but in case I didn't, I haven't tried this out myself, which I'm excited to once I get to the opportunity, but I've heard multiple times that fasting is really great for jet lag. And so don't eat probably 6 to 12 hours before your flight, and then don't
that ain't happening. It's Christmas Day.
Make your Christmas dinner that be your last meal, but then you'll sleep. You'll sleep, and that'll be you'll have
that's fair enough.
You'll have 12 hours, 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah, it actually works out quite well because it's an evening flight.
Yeah, and then if you want, politely decline the food and options and stuff, and just keep your fast going throughout. And then it's supposed to be
politely. I like that you stipulated I should do that politely.
Rudely,
just they come with the tray, and I just bat it out of their hand. No,
what the fuck you think you're doing?
No one in my aisle is eating. Do you know fasting? How dare you?
Just polite. Come on, Mark. Just settle down. Politely.
Give me some bone broth. Just empty out the juices from the microwave tins of all the chicken that you've got. Just empty out the juices and put it in a cup.
Oh, it sounds kind of gross, but also hilarious. Just leaking the juices from each cup. It eventually makes a full. Oh my god.
Yep.
But if you do that, I'm really excited to hear how that goes for you. If you don't, no worries. It's But so then you could hopefully. But it's good that you're getting a day early to have a little bit of acclimation time before, because we're gonna from 5 to 10. It's a whole bunch of dancing. I'm gonna be sending out a little survey to the people that I plan to invite, and asking them hey, if I invite you to my birthday party, are you gonna dance?
If I invite
you. That's not how it'll be worded in the survey, but
no guarantees.
I want people to dance.
If I invite you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't expect everybody to be dancing the whole time like me, but
Nope.
People gotta sit and rest and eat and all that stuff. There's one
got to stand awkwardly going, I don't know anyone.
Yeah. Well, you'll know Margaret and you'll know Cameron, but he'll be DJing. You haven't met Cameron, but you know him from the chat.
Yes.
And a lot of the people coming don't really know each other and either, so
I'll walk around speaking very loudly so that then people go, hey, is he British?
Yeah.
And then we can have a conversation.
You'll make fast friends, for sure. all my friends are good people, which is really...
I should hope so.
Yeah. One of the venues that I'm thinking about using is a big empty hall that has a bunch of food carts just in it permanently, or a bunch of booths for independent food places. And so what I'm hoping is that we can just kind of reserve off a big corner of the food hall and have the DJ booth in the corner of that, and then move some tables out so we can have a dance floor, and then people as they want can just get whatever food they want from the different vendors. And I'll also bring some stuff, and I can probably have a cake or snacks or whatever, but generally that way. That way, I'm not paying for everybody's meals because that would be a bit expensive. But another option is to have it at my place, and then I would probably make a bunch of food. I don't know.
Yeah.
Still thinking about all that. Partially with you coming to stay at our place, I kind of want that sparked an inspiration to more have a separate venue for the party than to have it at my place, because to give both Margaret and me and you a separation from that. Like, it's like, a bunch of dancing and chaos, and then, all right, go to sleep, just like we're all just in this building, and then we're just gonna crash. Like, that could be fun. And, there's nothing wrong with that, but having it separate, it seems nice. So yeah, what's your flight booking? What are you looking at right now?
Well, I sort of thought it's probably best not to book a flight whilst trying to do a podcast.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. A little bit distracted.
I think now that I think about it, because and it wants me to figure out all sorts of different classes, and I've got to figure out but yeah, it's going to be a long old trip there, but as I say, with a stopover, so really it's not that's fine. So I'll have an evening in Amsterdam, I think, which there are worse places to have an evening. Might it'll have been a while. I might go and enjoy myself in a coffee shop. Ooh. Have myself a brownie. And then so be nice and rested. And on the flight for like a fairly long flight into Portland. It's a 10-hour flight. From Amsterdam to PDX, which brings us in on the Thursday. So
you're going to get to experience the best U.S. airport, as reported by many people and magazines and stuff.
Well, I can't wait already.
It's much nicer than Heathrow.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
In some ways, it's better than Amsterdam because I was just there.
Yeah.
It pales in comparison to the two airports that I visited in Finland. The Helsinki and Oulu airports. Wow. They have cushioned benches with no fixed armrests, so you can fully lay down. There are recliners that are just out and available to use. There are bean bags. There's a piano that anybody can just walk up to use. They have nature sounds. All the bathrooms have like bird song playing in them. They all have bidets with like nice, really comfortable locking doors. They're super clean. There's like this like gathering area, just like this big living room with looping panoramic video of babbling brooks and streams and just like water sounds and it's just the wonderful, cute little shops. Oh my God. It's like, why is my layover so short? I just want to stay here.
Yeah.
This place is amazing. And I go back to PDX and I'm like, oh, this is like it's just like a dirty bus station. It's like, it's fine. It is the best in the US. I agree with people, but like, also it's like, this is fine. Like, everybody's obsessed with the carpet because the carpet has this repeating logo that looks like a top-down view of the airport, and it's just kind of like in a little shape that's sort of cute. But like, okay, that's just carpet. There's really nothing that special about it. It's just not horrible. And is the thing, like, that's the bar that the US sets. Is like, is it massively inconveniencing you? No.
Having flown into a few, I think the one that I had the least pleasurable experience, which is probably not that surprising, was New York. I can't remember which one. JFK probably. And it was the full like sir, like in the line in the queue to try and get through to like customs or immigration or whatever it was, and it like whenever someone's like sir, you're like, oh god, this is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? And it was just like this, surly woman that's just like, you haven't got the right papers and you've got to okay, I'm trying my best. It's just like, what are you here for? I thought I was going to have a nice time, and then I got stung for $400 or $300 because I made a stupid naive mistake and jumped in an Uber that wasn't an Uber, and the guy absolutely rinsed me. So that's not the airport's fault, but the airport was, I didn't love it. I'm a gentle soul. I like to be treated gently, and I was not treated gently. I was treated roughly. I was not handled with care.
Are you curious at all to hear some of the things I have planned for your trip? Like,
oh God, of
that
course.
I'm listing, or did you want to keep it a surprise and just be like?
I mean, there's going to be about 6 months in between, so I'll have done forgot.
That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm flying into Amsterdam, I'm probably going to have forgotten my own birthday. Or who I'm going to visit. Business or pleasure, sir? I don't know. Why can't it be both?
Okay. Oh my god. And also, like, so I have a bunch of restaurants that I've picked out. It looks like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, maybe a little less than 30 different places on my list here. And obviously they're not going to mean anything to you, but definitely, obviously, the chimichanga cart that's right by our house, we'll be going there. There's a pizza place that I freaking love called Dove Vivi, which makes this cornbread crust, and it's very their own style of pizza, which is great. I have a whole. So in my list, I've broken it down into beverages, favorites, like my favorite places that I want to take you. Portland, which is like things that are just really Portland, you can't really find anywhere else, I feel. Pizza places, burger places, and Mexican places. Because you don't really have good Mexican in England. And I feel like burgers are pretty American as well. Pizza is obviously not originally American, but Americans have taken it on as their own food group. In my pizza section, I have currently 4 places. One of them does kind of like a New York style. One I call like a Portland style. One is like halfway between Portland and American style, and then one place they actually call it American style. So it's kind of a variety of different places. And, we can, obviously as we go through our days together, we can decide like what we're in the mood for. We can look at the list and check out different stuff. In the Portland section, I have one place that is called Bastion. It's like I think it might be gluten-free and vegan, but it's very Portland, but it's so good. It might not be vegan, actually. I think there's vegan options, but it's not vegan, but it's like really high quality food. I just love that. I live for that stuff. There's a food cart called Matt's Barbecue where the meat just melts in your mouth. It just dissolves. It's so good. It's the best barbecue I found in Portland. There's a place I haven't been to yet that Margaret's been to a few times called Coquine, and I'm not really sure what they serve, but she raves about it, and so I want to go there, and we'll probably go there before you come. But there's a hot wings place called Fire on the Mountain.
Whoa, run boy run. Devil's in the house of the rising sun.
Okay, I don't know.
Chicken in the bread pan picking out. Sorry, these are all lyrics to The Devil Came Down to Georgia.
That makes sense. It's like, I don't know that reference, but I believe you.
Yes. Thank you.
And then there's Laurel Hearst Market, which is similar to Bastion. They just make really high quality foods and very super tasty. You for the rest of the day, you're just like feeling good in your tummy and your belly and your body.
Yes, well nourished.
Back into my favorites list. I kind of feel like a little bit that I want to show you, like, even if stuff is off my typical protocol, I'm still going to share it with you and indulge in that for old time's sake and friendship's sake and camaraderie, eating together and breaking bread together, and we're just gonna enjoy it. So
thank you for your sacrifice.
We're going to my favorite ice cream parlor. It's called Salt and Straw. They make
that sounds familiar. Actually, I feel like you might have talked about that before.
Maybe, yeah. They're pretty well known. They actually ship nationally, but they're mostly in Portland. I think they might have a Denver location. They make really fun, unique flavors that are not super sweet, and they actually have a lot of savory elements mixed into them. Some of them are just sweet, but some of them, like, they have an olive oil ice cream, and they have I can't remember the other ones, but they every month they have a new set of 5 or 6 special flavors that they've made just with a theme. And so it's really fun to go in there and just ask for a flight of samples of their themed new things, and you'll taste some really great ones and some really weird ones, and the ice cream quality is just top notch. And their waffle cones are incredible. So we're definitely going there at least once. And then speaking of the off protocol stuff, there's a place called Friar Tuck's Chicken, and their fried chicken is amazing. But what we're actually going to get there is a box. It's like a small shoebox full of these potato wedges. They get these massive potatoes, and they cut them into like 1 inch by 1 inch strips. So they're huge chunks of potatoes, and deep fry them in some special way that cooks them all the way through. They're fully soft and just melt in your mouth, break apart. And then they have this this very dilly, oregano-y ranch dressing dip stuff that is so. They must use like a lot of garlic and onion powder or something. I don't know. It's so.
Is this what edging is? Oh, so sorry.
Yes, it is. Oh, yes, that's exactly it. I'm doing it to myself too. I'm. Oh, it's incredible, and we haven't even talked about Keeper. Oh my God, Keeper coffee. So I'm gonna be totally on coffee. So we'll get to this later, but I'm gonna be breaking out all of my coffee gear at home and making fresh coffee in the mornings for sure. I'm gonna use the AeroPress. I'm gonna use the Chemex. I'm gonna use the Flair espresso machine. Not a machine. It's a lever. I manually press it down, and then I'll be making bulletproof coffee, and that'll be all fun. But we're also gonna go to Keeper Coffee. Keeper Coffee is the best coffee house in Portland. It is incredible. The coffee is just top notch. It's like, you can kind of get to like peak coffee, and they hit it. But they make their own pastries and baked goods and stuff. And their quiche is out of this world. It's so you think of a quiche. It's not really like a quiche. They call it a quiche. It's so like a quiche is like maybe like an inch to an inch and a half thick. This thing is like 3 inches thick. If you shake the plate, it jiggles because it's so creamy. It tastes like you're eating heavy cream in solid form. It's like heavy cream and eggs.
Yeah.
And then the crust is incredible. It's like super flaky and brittle and just kind of breaks apart and dissolves in your mouth. And I'm noticing that I really like things to melt in my mouth. That's it.
Yes.
something I really enjoy. The mouthfeel is so important. But yeah, so we're gonna get quiche and cappuccinos at Keeper. And I have a couple. Oh, and there's a kava plate. Have you ever had kava? The drink?
Oh, is that like a wine or like a champagne variant or something?
I know of it as kind of like I don't actually know what it is, but it's like a nut beverage. I think it's more similar to coffee or hot cocoa.
Oh, this will be a very different thing then, right? Okay,
less like wine, more like that. But it has a little bit of a slight psychoactive component to it. You do get sort of a buzz off of it. Anyways, we found Margaret found a cool kava shop that's like on the upstairs of a building that's a grocery store. And it's like super out of the way, and they've made it like incredibly cute. The atmosphere is adorable, and they have a bunch of other fun drinks and stuff. And so I'm thinking that we'll get, like, you, me, and Margaret probably go and get like a big thing of kava that we all share, and then each get individual drinks because their teas and kombuchas and other things are all super good as well. It'll be super fun. Yeah, the burger places. I have two burger places that are like fast food joints that are like local fast food joints that are like super good. And then a couple of them that are more restaurant style. One's called Lardo, and it's their burger is actually all made from pig meat. Everything they sell is pork and pig meat. And I haven't tried that one yet, but I've had other sandwiches from Lardo, and they're so good. So I'm really excited.
I watched a TikTok of someone today eating the American version of crackling. And I don't know, it feels like this is a Southern thing. I don't know if that is the case. But we have, crackling here. It's just the sort of the for us, crackling is the crunchy bit right at the sort of very top of where the fat is on a piece of pork.
I think and I'm thinking pork rind.
Yeah. And then, but what they were doing is we would just take that bit and just so it's almost like a crisp, just that very top layer, and you crunch down on that, and it's good. Maybe you'll get a little bit of congealed fat underneath it or whatever. But what they were doing was they were taking like the whole like proper piece of rendered fat, as well as the crust on top, the sort of rind on top. And my mouth's salivating as I'm thinking about it, with the whole flavors and everything. And like, yeah, there's a couple of British lads going absolutely mental for this like American version of crackling with no N, with no G, so it's Southern. I'm
so hungry.
So big.
So at home, I'm going to be making you some food, because I love making food, especially for people, but especially I really want you treated us to this beautiful full English breakfast every morning, and I want to.
I feel like you're trying to outdo me, which is not necessary.
Well, I have no Cadbury World to take you to, so I have to overcompensate in other realms. All the.
You mean you're not going to take me to our equivalent of a Ren fair?
We do have a cool place called Enchanted Village, which is this. It's kind of designed for kids, theme park, but on one hand, it looks like it's designed for kids. On the other hand, it looks like it's designed by somebody taking too much LSD.
Cool.
And yeah, it's kind of a cute, fun place, but it's closed in winter, so I can't take you there. You'll have to come back for that. But yeah, we'll get to the activities section. I've got a few things for that. So at home, I'm gonna make you. I make a slow cooked pork shoulder, and then I turn that into carnitas using a brand of peanut oil called Hot Mama oil that has like sesame seeds and other stuff in it. It's sort of super good. And and that stuff I've made it a bunch of times, and I just my friends all loved coming over and having it, and it's super 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 good. I'm gonna make you, of course, pressure cooked beans, the way that I make beans all the time, and they're fucking fabulous coming right out of the pressure cooker. I make a vinegar slaw, so it's like cabbage, bell pepper, carrots, and a few other things, cilantro, jalapenos. With I use multiple vinegars and salt and spices, and let that sit for a while, marinate, and kind of meld together. And it comes out super good. I have a fun recipe that's a mix of Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes, and bacon roasted, and that's super good. Mentioned in a previous episode, my garlic za'atar nut butter. I'm definitely going to make that for you because that is a fun treat. And speaking of treats, my last thing is I'm going to make a recipe I made myself. All of these are recipes I made myself, but this one I'm super proud of. A date sweetened pumpkin pie. Ooh. I don't know if you're a fan of pumpkin pie or not. Hopefully you can tolerate it. Some people don't like it at all.
Oh yeah. No, I think I'm sure I can tolerate it.
Yeah, this date sweetened pumpkin pie is it's really dense and creamy. And I use a lot of spices in it, so it's really spicy, and it's so good. I can't wait for winter. We're just getting out of it, and I want to come back. So that's so far the plan for all the food stuff, and then I have some activities planned. I'll just kind of briefly go over some of these. We're really close in Portland. We're really close to Mount Hood. Or Y East, as I like to try and call it now, because that's the native name for it before we colonized it. On there, we could do like there's like a snow bunny, which is just like a little hill that has some snow on it. We could do some sledding and tubing on that. There's also a bigger place that does a thing called cosmic tubing, where they have like rave lights and a live DJ at night, and we can go sledding down this big hill. And so that could be really fun. We have some cross-country skis, and we can get some cross-country skis from Margaret's father, my father-in-law. And so we could go cross-country skiing. And then there's also Bagby Hot Springs on Mount Hood. And so we could go just soak in a natural hot springs tub. Which could be fun. And also there's Timberline Lodge, which is a tourist destination. It's really, really beautiful and good sightseeing, walking around stuff. Another hot springs we could go to, and this one I'm pretty sure I'm just going to book once I know your dates. I'm just going to book it once I am able to. Brighton Bush Resort. Like we've already talked a bunch about it. They have a room called the Grove. It's like a building called the Grove. It sleeps 3, and so you, me, and Margaret could all stay and enjoy the natural sauna, the many soaking pools. They provide 3 vegetarian meals a day in this giant buffet of the highest quality food that they grow there, and all organic. You're out of cell reception. There's no internet, no connectivity, no airway, no microwaves, or no Bluetooth, no things around. You're just in nature. It's so peaceful and wonderful. So that's Brighton Bush. I definitely think that we're going to do that. The Portland Art Museum, which is nothing compared to the British Museum, but it has its own flavor and style to it. I think if you're a museum enjoyer, then I think it would be a fun time. We can just, I think they have like, it's like Thursdays or something, maybe once or twice a month. They have a free entry day, and so we could just go in and wander around. And so I think that would be really fun. there's a tram in the city that was recently built a couple years ago, and it would take us, like, the tram itself goes like not through the city, it's like kind of adjacent to the city, but you can kind of see the city really well, and you can see all like 9 bridges that we have over the lake that, or the river that runs through the city, and all the buildings and stuff.
I should enjoy seeing a body of water. I think that is a thing that I enjoy. As much as I don't much like stuff set in the sea, like when it comes to fiction, like I have no interest in that. I don't like boat stuff. I do enjoy looking at water.
Me too. I was just thinking about that yesterday. I was driving over a bridge, and like I look both ways. You know, I look, where's the water look like that way? Oh, what's the water look like? Why do I like looking at water so much? I just love it. I can't.
Yeah. There's so I don't know how you feel on the sort of empath scale, but a thing, you know, being a 9, you're probably further along on that scale. That is, you know, nature tends to be something that is quite highly prized, because my understanding is, I believe that it is because you are away from the people equivalent of microwaves and Bluetooth. The you know, the shit that you pick up from other people.
For sure. Oh, that's a good point.
Being outside, there's less of that stuff to like bounce around, and so I think there's a sort of a calming effect. I mean, I remember being out on my bike, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I was just cycling around a pond, and I was just so happy. It was just like, oh, this is it. This is the good stuff. So yeah, I should enjoy some nature and some bodies of water.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we will be showing you that for sure. Another place I want to take you is Powell's City of Books. So Powell's is a local bookstore. They have like 3 or 4 locations, and they're all pretty great. But the one downtown Portland is a full city block, and it's like 5 or 6 stories tall, and it's all new and used books. And they have different rooms for different sections, and like they put on nearly every day there's some book reading going on, and it's massive and amazing. There's a coffee shop in there and like a bunch of stuff. It's super fun to explore and get lost in. So we'll definitely do that. And when we're there, it's a good spot to just kind of walk around the city a bit, and like there's some good stuff around it, so we can kind of explore the downtown area a bit. I think so there's a thing called Portland Saturday Market, which is like the biggest and longest running open market in the United States, I believe. I just read something like that. And they're every Saturday and Sunday, and it said through December. So I'm hoping that December 29th, they'll still be open. So if they are, then the day after my birthday, we can, or maybe on the 28th earlier, because the party won't start until 5, and I don't know what we'll be doing too much. But it's an early morning thing.
I'm sure you'll.
But yeah, definitely, yeah. But one of those days, I'm really hoping to take you to that, because it's a fun, and it's super Portland. It's like a bunch of, you know, artists and weird, quirky stuff, and it's just really fun to people watch. And speaking of the foods that will be off protocol, we're going to get some elephant ears, which I don't know if you know what those are.
Nope.
Oh my god.
I've had monkey fingers in the UK's equivalent of Portland, which is Brighton.
Monkey fingers.
And I've had a thing there called monkey fingers,
finger?
Which are I don't know if it's endemic to this particular that's the wrong word, but unique to this particular establishment. But it's they are fried, I guess, chicken, as we would call them, goujons, as you might call them, tenders. But it's all about the dipping sauce and stuff. And I believe that's what monkey fingers are. It's been a long time.
Well, that sounds a little bit healthier than what I'm going to propose for you. Is
no, they were pretty deep fried.
Well, there's at least there's a shred of protein in there.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Elephant ears it's a sweet dough about the size of like a full pizza, but it's kind of like oblong, so it's kind of shaped like an elephant ear size. So it like looks. It's then that's deep fried, and then covered with cinnamon sugar on both sides, and it is exactly what you're imagining. It is so good. And I think, and it's been since I was a child that I've had an elephant ear. So I feel like there and I've walked by places that sell them. I feel like there's been some advances in elephant ear technology. I think they now serve them with, like, I don't know, dipping sauces or, you know, sweet cream that goes alongside. I don't know, but we'll find out. It'll be delicious and horrible for us. Depending on when it is and how long you stay, there is the Portland Folk Festival in January. And so I can try and look up what previous years, what dates they were. And so you can see if that fits into your schedule.
January, so the 17th and the 18th at McManaman's Crystal Ballroom.
Yeah. We almost went this year. And I just kind of got too busy for it, but it looked really fun. And this is like, I was telling you about, I wanted to take you to Pickathon. This is like another version of that, but a little bit more folk based. I think that you would really enjoy it if we're able to get that in. I had,
might, so, I think what is going, I mean, because at some point, like, you've got to work as well.
But I can take time off. I would imagine. Like
I don't know how much time I can take off, so it might be that if I take a little bit longer and I work in the daytime, then I can get the things done, and then we can go and have fun.
Yeah, that's what. And a lot of your work is remote, right? So you can work.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's all remote. Yeah. So yeah.
So and that's what like my biggest thing is I figured you're going to want to get back to your cats. Like that
has been very much playing on my mind, because the longest I've been away from them, I think, is 6, maybe 7 days.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely want to do this, but it's just it has already tugged on my heartstrings.
I get it completely.
Yeah.
They're your babies. I have considered a trip to Seattle, since it's close by. It's 3 hours away, and we could go to the Space Needle and do some other fun Seattle stuff. That unless that seems really enticing to you, that's lower on my priority list, only because of the time commitment that it would take for the extra road trip and stuff.
Yeah.
But it would still be really fun. And if we wanted to, we could either on the way up or the way down, go instead of just the freeway, go through the mountains and stuff, and we could stop in this little town called Eatonville, and they have a cider house that it's called Mill House, and it is. I haven't seen it in winter. In summer, they have like this big outside area that is super cute. They have this little stream running through it, and a water mill like going, and there's like they've got a stage with live music all the time. They've got like cornhole out for people to just throw some beanbags around, and
cornhole.
It's so great. And then not only do they have the best cider I think I've ever had in so many different flavors. They have some of the best food too. Their barbecue is really good. They have these little pork sliders that are just so yummy. So like it's definitely worth the drive out of the way. If we do go up to Seattle, I think we should do that. We will be taking you to the coast for sure. Whether I think my in-laws are going to be renting a house, and we're working on that. I checked in with her, and she was like, "Well, we definitely have to do something. That sounds amazing." And then we might like take you up and down to different beach towns to see the cool different offerings that the Portland coast has. Winter is not its prime time, but also it is kind of great at the same time. It never really gets that warm here at the beach anyway. So.
Yeah.
And then another activity I was thinking about, and since we were talking about, like not being as vehemently against sports as maybe we have in the past, we have a professional hockey team called the Winterhawks.
I'd
and
watch
it'd be fun
hockey.
to maybe go to a big sporting event.
Yeah, I'd watch some hockey.
That I put a question mark by that one because it's like into maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much tickets are. I'd never go.
I'd be down for that.
I will take the question mark off, and then we'll just think about that.
Yeah, because I think that's something that's it's a bit more sort of visually interesting than football.
Yeah, it's a little more
soccer. Even American football is a bit more visually interesting. But I think hockey, there's some stuff happening.
Yeah,
you know what
sure.
I mean? So that could be quite fun.
And then lastly, I have a section called "Keep Portland Weird."
Yes,
and these are like the very Portlandy things, and I'll just run through a couple of them. The Clinton Street Theater has the longest running streak of regular showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, and fun. Do people do the dressing up and the singing?
That people definitely do the dressing up and the singing. When you buy your tickets and it's your first time coming, they'll lipstick a V on your cheek because you're a virgin, and like it's a whole thing. So that could be super fun.
Yeah. I've done a very 23 years ago. I did that at a cinema that is now, I think, being knocked down. I didn't know that this was what was happening. I was there with my goth friend. We got let in, and I think we all sat on the floor. And then a guy led everyone in a dance at the beginning to the time warp. And so those who knew what was going on and who knew the dance, I jumped up and I was getting excited. I was like, I'm going to get in on this. And then I remembered I actually don't really know how to do the dance, so I jumped out again.
Yeah.
And so everyone did that. And then when the film came on, I didn't know. Like, I was gathering that people were getting dressed up, and they were dressed up as characters and stuff, and that was cool. Because I was there with my goth friends, we all walked in. And there was, the usher or the guy on the door who was like, if you're dressing up, people go over there. And my friend was just like, okay. Yeah. He was just dressed in what he would, this is probably 2002, 2003 maybe. And we started watching the film, and, there's all this stuff where people shout stuff out. And I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. I see what's happening. And that's all in the beginning with the opening credits with the big lips, the big singing lips, and people are shouting stuff out. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then that finishes, and I'm like, cool. Okay, I guess it'll settle down now. And of course it doesn't. And people keep shouting stuff all the way through the film. And there's different regional things. There's different things that I realize this is like a guy to my left or guy to my right who knew one thing. Oh no, it's my friend from Ireland who had her own stuff that they obviously do in Ireland that they don't do in the UK in terms of weird variants of things that people shout out. But we got a little bit of the way through the film, and people are still shouting. And there's this one woman who hadn't clocked. She just hadn't realized that and so she was like, "Can everybody stop shouting, please?" Oh no. I've been here for 5 minutes. I think I've got the lay of the land
it's
here.
It's not going to stop.
I think this is part of the fun.
This is the point.
And that was the last time I saw that film.
Well, wonderful. Yeah, it'll be. I haven't seen it for a long time either. It'll be really fun to. Cool. I'm glad you're down for that. And speaking of theaters, there is a drive-in theater that is, and I feel like a drive-in theater is a pretty American thing.
Yes, it is. I would very much like to experience.
There's a drive-in theater called 99W Drive-in Theater, which is on 99W, and they always play a double feature, so we could be able to see two movies. Margaret's new car is a Chevy Volt. It has an incredible sound system. We go in there to listen to CDs, not CD albums. It doesn't have a CD player, but yeah.
So do they do the thing? Because my understanding of the way it works is you pull up and then you hook a a radio thing.
They broadcast FM there, and so we just listen to it over the radio.
Yeah.
But I think that would be really fun for the three of us to do. There's a variety of really high quality weed places, marijuana shops that I want to take you to, and two specifically, and there's a third runner up, and we can get some nice edibles and some nice, whatever's vape stuff, whatever we want.
Oh, I'll have to bring my device, and I should have shown it you when you were here. My Da Vinci, which is the thing where you just put the buds directly into the thing. Because I can't roll for shit. I tried it once or twice, and I'm not much of a roller. But yeah, I got this thing, and it's brilliant. So I might have to bring that
definitely.
with me. Although that
I flew with my PAX and a bunch of pods for my PAX vaporizer through all the different airports and customs and stuff, and nobody ever gave me shit about it. So it doesn't really seem to be they don't really care. It seems like that's not what they're.
No, it's not really what they're looking for. It's a little bit of recreational or whatever. Yeah. They're after the smugglers. Yeah.
And
although bringing that back through Amsterdam would be quite funny. My parents tell a story of again, like 20 some odd years ago, they went to Jamaica, and they got off the plane and into customs, and a guy got arrested and taken aside bringing drugs into Jamaica. Like,
oh no,
the fuck, dude! Just step out. It'll be fine. You'll get some.
My gosh! Oh, that's funny.
Anyway. I don't know. Maybe he was looking for uppers, and all they sell in Jamaica is downers. I don't know.
One last little section I'm going to tell you about. Well, I'm going to keep other things a secret. There are more things on this list, but I have a list of 5 different arcades that some I've been to, some I haven't, because I found out about by researching this, and I'm really excited to go.
Oh my god!
So we can figure out which ones we want to go to while you're, if any, while you're here. 2 of them are pinball cafes, and they both have amazing food menus, like quirky, fun, very Portland type food stuff. And so those look really fun to go to. And the other 3 are more like video gamey type places.
I think I find the sound of an arcade like oddly comforting.
Yeah,
I think there's a childhood thing there of like, of that all the different and the pinballs and all the different things competing for your attention. There's something weirdly kind of soothing about that.
For sure. There's one called the Avalon Theater, which is a branch of a very small chain called Wonderland, and you buy admission for a small price. It's like $5-10, whatever, and then all of the machines take quarters take nickels instead of quarters. So it's just 5 cents a play. Someone will take a couple nickels, but they're all nickel play. And so you get the, you spend $5 and you get this big bag of nickels, and you walk around and you get to play so much, and they have tons of machines. It's really great. It's a great time. So
I love the quarter as a concept. Like, I remember talking to some friends about this. It might have been on Beware of the Leopard. Like, the idea of the quarter as like a unit of fun. Like, it's such a lovely thing. We don't have that, and it's just like what a quarter symbolizes. In that sense, it's just like it's such a lovely thing. Yeah.
Well, wonderful. I'm so excited to show you around. I'm so excited for you to come.
Oh my god.
I partially, like, I didn't want to outdo you, but I did want to make your trip worth it. Like, you're bringing up your dates here for my benefit, and I want to make that. I want to pay that back as well, because I'm excited. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 other things I want to talk to you about. Maybe I'll push this one off to next week. Really quickly, I want to talk to you about your doppelganger. I have recently come across somebody who looks exactly like you to me, and it's great.
Today I saw somebody who looks just like you. Go on then, hit me with it.
So you're familiar with Taylor Swift, the
oh Oh, yeah, no, I know what's happening. Okay.
Wow, you already know from that. I love this. Tell me.
Yes, but go on, continue.
So she is now dating Travis Kelce, who is an American football player for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he is brothers with another now former NFL player who they have a podcast together with named Jason Kelce. And I just watched a documentary of Jason Kelce because I'm a Swiftie, and now we watch all of the things that I'm not quite a Swiftie. I like Taylor Swift. Margaret is closer to a Swiftie, although I would think that she's still not quite to the bar of, like, she's not obsessive. Like a Swiftie is like obsessive. Like Margaret's never been to a Taylor Swift concert yet, although we do kind of have plans for it. But we went to see the Taylor Swift concert in the theaters when the Eras tour was playing in theaters, and we're in the middle of rewatching it now that it's on Disney Plus. It is so good. It is so good. It is an amazing. I don't know if you have access to Disney Plus, but the Eras tour on Disney Plus, it is quite fun. Like she makes a spectacle out of, and like it is such fan service. Like it's just beautiful. Oh, anyways. Off the point.
Yeah, no, I very quickly to that point is that I keep meaning to, because obviously she got the new album out now, and I really don't. I want to go on a kind of a Taylor Swift vision quest. I think because there's the couple of songs that I know, but like I'm people speak so highly of her, and I think we're in this age now, which has taken us a long while. Where I think 20 years ago we would have looked at her work with some sort of disdain because we don't like pop music or whatever. America is much better at that. We at having a lot less of that snobbery than I think we do. But even that aside, I think there's a lot there that I want to. I'm curious to dive into her oeuvre.
Yeah, I would think like if you're down for a 3-hour movie festival, like. Her Eras tour, I think, would be a great jumping in point because it's all her best hits throughout all of her albums, excluding the newest one. And it is a joy. I can't wait to get back to watching that with Margaret. And I have to wait like 6 days now because she's going on her trip. But anyways, so we watched this documentary that was made about Jason Kelce, which also has Travis Kelce in it too, because they're brothers. They're on the podcast together, and they competed on different teams in the NFL against each other in the Super Bowl.
Oh wow!
In this documentary. It was
that
really,
must have been crikey.
Yeah. It was a lot for everyone. Yeah. Their mom had like this jersey that was like had both teams on it. It was like split in half and had in front. Had the two different colors and going on. It was really great. And she became kind of like a minor celebrity. She was going around to all the dog shows and stuff. It was really great. And his attitude, he has such, he's a little bit more jockey, of course, but he has this kindness and gentleness and awareness of others, and like this fatherhood nature is really taken over him, and he presents as you really well. So I don't know. I couldn't help but feel like I was watching a documentary about the alternate life of my friend Mark.
Yeah, I don't reject it. Yeah, I mean, there's a few that there's a few shots where it's just like, oh yeah. So the reason I was sort of aware is the night of the airing of the quiz show, someone had posted to Twitter something referencing I can't remember if it was Travis or if it was Jason, but I know it was, and I knew that there was the relationship there with Swift. So yeah, I was joining those dots because yes, it was a pretty good it was a pretty good likeness, and there are certain shots where you just go, oh yeah, like that is
it's the American Mark.
There's worse people to be compared to,
for sure. Oh no, he's a good dude. He's like beloved by his city of Philadelphia. That was part of the documentary. They really showed him giving a speech in front of thousands of people, and they're all just cheering him on and loving everything he's saying and stuff. And so yeah, no, it definitely seems like a really good dude. That's probably where we have to end it. But listener, it's been a pleasure. As always, correct me if I'm wrong.
We close the tabs, we never lose the game. Imagination never lets us close the tabs.
All right, now let's... Yes, that... Okay, yes. That goes here, that goes there. I don't know who moves all my stuff around.
Can be moved. Oh no, that email was not about Convergence. That was that one there. Lovely.
Okay.